A video of RFK Jr. was leaked showing him talking to Donald Trump, and it is really interesting. Check it out.
And it doesn't have an impact, right? But you and I talked about that a long time ago. And anyway, I would love you to do stuff. And I think it'll be so good for you and so big for you. And we're going to win. We're going to win. You know, we're way ahead of the guy. And, you know, he's interesting. It was very nice, actually. He called me.
So this video is not proof that RFK Jr. is going to be joining Trump's team, but I'm sure that both Biden and Trump have been talking to RFK Jr. repeatedly about trying to get him to endorse them. Because at this point, and I'm going to show you a little bit later, if he does that, the race essentially is over because he's commanding about 9% of the polling. And, you know, if that gets split, obviously not all of it's going to go one way, but the race is close enough where that could determine the race. So if you're RFK Jr. at this point, you know you've lost. I mean, for those out there who like RFK Jr., I think there are some positives and negatives to him, but you know that he's lost at this point. I mean, his support hasn't increased since the last year. It's been sitting at around 10 or 9%. In fact, it's kind of at an all-time low for 2024, and so it's just not moving at this point. If you're him, you know you're going to lose. So for that reason, the only kind of last thing that he could do this year that would make any difference in American politics is choosing between Biden and Trump. And again, like I just said, it could make all the difference. He could be the person that decides the election because 9% of the vote is no slouch. I mean, that's not nothing. It's not enough to win the presidency, but it's a massive endorsement. And there's going to be plenty of people out there who don't listen to his endorsement. But I think that, 1%, 2%, even 3% of that, of that overall in America would listen to that endorsement. And again, the polls are within 2 or 3% at this point, so that would make the difference. Just hours before the RNC, by the way, pointing a little bit more evidence towards him leaning towards Trump. RFK Jr. met with Donald Trump the day of the RNC, right before the RNC officially nominated Donald Trump as the Republican nominee. Kennedy met with him. And this is according to a spokesman Stephanie Spear for the Kennedy campaign. She said, quote, and this is according to the New York Times, by the way. She said, quote, "Yes, Mr. Kennedy met with President Trump today to discuss national unity, and he hopes to meet with the leaders of the Democratic Party as well." So here's my opinion on this. We know that he met with Donald Trump. We know he's going to meet with Biden from this quote. I think that he is essentially looking to see where he can fit into both these people. I think there's two things that he wants to do. One, I think he wants to determine the election and to go down in history as the person that determined the election, which makes me think that he's going to choose Donald Trump because that's a little more sure at this point. If he chooses Biden, there's honestly still a chance Biden loses. Maybe not, but obviously Donald Trump has the leg up, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. The other thing, though, is that he wants power and he wants to stay relevant in politics. And so the question is, where would he fit into the campaign? Biden, if you look at Biden's side, there's a few places that RFK Jr. could fit in, but Biden has a lot of his people in place already because he was already president. Donald Trump, on the other hand, has a lot of openings. He especially has an opening for the Environment Protection Agency, which RFK Jr. has repeatedly talked about really being passionate about. And so in my opinion, I think that when the time comes, the moment of national unity is going to be Kennedy teaming up with Trump and him being able to kind of be Trump's appeal to climate people, where Kennedy's not going to do anything crazy like the Green New Deal, but bring a little bit of, again, conservatives aren't going to get turned off by this, but they don't care. Kennedy's going to be talking about some environmental things that the Trump administration could potentially do, and I think a lot of people that do care about that, who are independents, are going to follow Kennedy to Trump's side. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.